Hello everybody and welcome back to Air Conflicts Secret Wars with me, Dark Mazda, for Dark Master Series Gaming. In the last episode we were continuing with our campaign and we were overrun by Nazi troops. We had tanks and planes and any matter of machines like a cannon on the back of a train. That was used, and we also did a smuggling mission as well. So we are going to continue from where we left off, and I believe we've got another flashback from the past where she sees her father and tries to figure out what happened to her father. So let's get going.
In the flesh, Archie Lincoln was as I had imagined him to be. A gruff, friendly bear of a man, with a generous pipe of tobacco permanently puffing away from beneath his bristles. He had a pronounced limp, a souvenir of previous campaigns. As the camp celebrated Operation Belt, he approached me to share vodka and stories of the past. I think he was curious about me. Mcintyre had been very much the same. Once again I got the impression that these men, rough, tough liars all, had been a little in awe of my father. But I had no past, only the stories passed on to me of the man who was my father. My image of him was becoming clearer, but there were still many questions to be answered. As the drinks flowed, Archie gave me another piece of the puzzle.
February the 16th, 1944. Archie Lincoln had flown with the RAF for half his life. I met him in my final days in Poland as he worked on behalf of the RAF in Peice. Attempting to work out why their bombing raid had been so ineffectual. Apparently he'd been drinking with Mcintyre some months ago and my name had come up. He was keen to talk about the past.
I remember the Battle of Cape Helles well. Took some bloody flak in the leg. Haven't run since. Those kites. Just paper and string. Flat cut straight through. Hurt like a bastard.
Kill 70 attacking enemy soldiers on the ground.
So your dad was there. Guillaume de Bec. Luckiest man in the sky, that's what we called him. The man they couldn't kill. And with us was my old chum Bull Peterson and that French lad René. I never worked out why the frog flew with us, but I was glad of the company. Good lads, good pilots. This was Gallipoli, May 1916. The Turks launched a surprise attack. A few days later there was a ceasefire. I missed it. Out of my mind in hospital, but I've heard they buried 10,000. Mcintyre told me where to find you, by the by. We flew together a bit.
He told us a story of your days together.
Aye, good times. Hard man's alike, old Butcher Mcintyre. Good pilot, though. We were all a bit impressed, you know. Scared of the man. All except Guillaume, who didn't give a toss. It was a stupid fight, Cape Helles. They just kept coming. We were trying to keep an eye on the big picture, trying to give the boys on the ground a helping hand. But we were kept very busy. One thing about your dad, he was a low scorer. We kept count, you know. Not seriously. I always felt that Mcintyre sort of liked it. He went for the kill every time, no mercy for that one. War was a serious business for him. Like he thought he could win it, you know, by himself.
My father didn't like to kill.
Me and Bull. We didn't like the killing, but it's them or you. And those guns sprayed all over. Hard not to kill them. But your dad, sometimes he would get this mood going, sort of lyrical, in the clouds. And he'd force them down. Takes a lot of skill, that. It's easier just to spray and hit the gas, or clip a wing, or just chop the fellow up in his seat. But sometimes, in the right mood, Guillaume forced him down as best he could. Strange one, Guillaume.
It's quite hard to kill men on the ground. Right, so we've done
And
that.
then I got hit. Had to limp back to land, my leg leaking like a broken jam jar. You know how it feels when you get hit? Of course you do. You feel the bird jerk trying to get away from you, like she wants to run, just to get the hell away. And you think, is that it? How bad is it? Am I dead already?
Land with a crippled plane. Looks like we caught on the left hand side here. Well, I can't exactly have to keep turning to the right until I get in the correct position, because I can't turn to the left. I think I've offshot. I'll need to go around again. It's no good. Right, hang on. Oh, I have to go the other way around. Oh damn. Right. Okie doke. It's fine by me. At least we're not timed on this one. I'm not going to get lined up like that, am I? Right. This is harder than I thought. There we go. I think we're on target now. When you get back on the soil, feels a bit special, that good times. With that, Archie limped away. His story told me little, beyond the fact that my father had still been alive in May of 1916. Tommy hadn't spoken once since the story had been told, and had been either unable or unwilling to look me in the eye. My impression was that he genuinely didn't want to know any more about the fate of my father, but my desire to know the truth was gaining strength. If he was dead, what had killed the luckiest man in the sky? So we're on to the next campaign, Operation Overlord.
A coded message, designed to baffle both Allies and Germans alike, brought our time in Poland to an abrupt end. The militant fighters of the Maquis had personally requested our presence in France. I felt strangely honored. Our contact there was to be a woman called Ivana Marovich. Stylish and glamorous, her presence commanded respect from everybody in camp. Strangely, nobody could tell us anything about her. All we knew was that she was vital to the French resistance. It was Ivana who had asked for our help. Her manner was familiar, if somewhat cold. I suspected that she was, in fact, Night Owl, but her identity was clearly a closely guarded secret. And so we all proceeded as though she were a stranger. In Vercors, there had been an outbreak of influenza. What we laughably called field hospitals were rudimentary at best, and there was little that could be done to stem the epidemic. beyond isolating the sick. As the days passed, more and more people fell to the potentially lethal disease.
Bomb railways. The Germans are assaulting the Vercors Plateau, targeting failed hospitals. This attack involves a Nazi train which must be stopped. Shoot the track signals to guide a second train prepared by the local resistance so that it crashes into the first, destroying it. This is a last-minute gambit. You have to be fast. Fly along the railway and find and destroy semaphores. Let's go for our favourite, the Spitfire. The resistance sends many sick and wounded to the hospitals of this region, and the Nazis are preparing an assault. We need your help.
They're going to attack hospitals?
Bloody animals.
Nazi transport is inbound. The local resistance has prepared a desperate countermeasure. Fly ahead of the resistance train and destroy the junction points along the way. This will guide the train into a collision course with the inbound Nazi transport.
I see the first junction point.
Mission complete. The ground assault made no sense. The Vercors Plateau was defensible from the ground. The train attack was creative, but I sensed that it was a probe, a feint, or a warning. Marquis spies report a much more significant threat from the air. I presume this is why I have been called upon. Additionally, it seems that Tommy is sick. Can I continue without him? Paratrooper attack. The Germans are assaulting the Vercors Plateau with paratroopers. Shoot down as many as you can before the camp is overrun. Kill at least 12% of attacking paratroops. Okay, will we whacking out the Spitfire again? Bloody transport inbound. Is it ever going to end? so they can't do it. Thanks, DD. Ah, I feel bloody awful. Right. Well, that took a while. I mean, we had to end up doing the work for them and taking out the paratrooper transports. So, yep, there we go. I should have forbade Tommy to fly, but we need every plane we have in the sky. In Vercor especially, the danger will come from above. Now I've lost my wingman and must continue with the hope that Tommy is strong enough to weather the influenza. Clive is also very distraught. We rely on Tommy for so much.
In a life haunted by the fear of bombs and bullets, it was easy to forget that everyday perils could still strike us down. It wasn't that I'd been unaware of Tommy's faltering health, but knowing that he would rather fall where he stood than see a doctor, I hadn't pressed the matter. I was a fool. Influenza had claimed the lives of thousands across Europe, as disease and infection followed in the wake of war. Germs couldn't be shot down or driven to ground through grit and determination. Sickness was an enemy that even Tommy couldn't bluff. He insisted it was nothing, that he could still fly and fight. But eventually his body betrayed him, and he collapsed to a hospital bed. I had come to Vercor to defend the sick and the wounded. Now I had a personal stake in the fight.
Steel medical supplies. The influenza epidemic is crippling Vercor. German medical supplies have been located and must be stolen and transported by train to the hospital camps. You must clear the 2 medical stores of German defenders before the transport train arrives at each. Eliminate vehicles and soldiers at 2 warehouses within time limit. We are going to go for the Spitfire again. It's just one bloke left, I think. Right, and next. This is the bit we failed on last time because of all the smoke. We flew through the smoke and then we couldn't pull up quick enough because we smashed into a building. Yeah, not our finest moment. And we had like one guy left to get. We need to get that artillery, definite. One bloke left. Can we get him? Yes, we can. Lovely. Do not let them destroy the train. Right. I've got to destroy these as quickly as possible. Next. Next. Is that it? Mission completed. Lovely. That was a bit of a pain in the bum. Now that Tommy has medicine, I must see to the other camps in the area. I am the best choice for rapid distribution of medical supplies. That this keeps me away from Tommy is a frustration. Clive has been a good friend to Tommy, but his vigil has merely increased his drunkenness. If he were a competent pilot, I would suggest we alternate roles, but Clive is no pilot. So there we have it, guys. That's going to be it for this episode of Air Conflicts Secret Wars. In this episode, our comrade has taken ill with the influenza, and we had to go and get some medical supplies. In the next episode, I'm guessing we're going to be distributing those medical supplies to the other camps, judging by what we just read there. So anyway, if you have liked what you have seen this episode, give me a like and a sub. And until next time, when we'll be continuing with the campaign, that's it from me, and I will see you guys on the flip side.